And this is who she's buying the doll from. So as you can see, we're looking at the important details here. So words associated with the title, and these are the characters, and we're thinking of words associated with the characters so we can make sense of the story. Idylla said, I know, I just... Go back and look through the store. Retrace your steps to see if you can find it. A helpful granny who is next to her in line suggested. So we're going to write Granny. Tells her to look around. Okay. I'll hold the item while you look, the cashier remarked, punching some buttons to put the transaction on hold. She didn't sound very hopeful. Idylla fled the scene, rushing past the granny to run around the store. She tried to visualize where she had walked before. It was hard to remember. Had she walked past the stuffed animals? Had she paused to look at the magazines? Which way had she gone? She wandered from aisle to aisle, looking rapidly, fading hope. She felt like crying. She felt like throwing up. She felt like grabbing her doll and running from the store, but that would be stealing. Just then, she noticed a boy stooping down in front of the dolls to pick up something off of the floor. Her eyes went wide. She then had bent down to inspect the items on the bottom shelf, and her money must have fallen out. That's mine, she said, racing over. The boy was so startled he jumped back and snatched it up. Hey, he shouted. Okay, so we're going to write down the boy who found her money. Now, I'm sure you're wondering right now whether or not he gave it back. So, when you wonder these things, you might want to just write down a side note of what you're wondering because it helps put the pieces of the story together so that you can figure out the main point. And I think the main point is coming. Does she find her money? That's what I'm wondering right now. Or does he give her money? So anyways, she goes, I'm sorry, but I dropped this while I was shopping. He looked like he might argue with her, so she flipped through the bills and handed him $1. Thanks for helping me find it, she said with a smile. He couldn't really argue with free money, so he closed his mouth, took the dollar, and nodded. She strode off to claim her doll, stopping only to choose a small coin purse to buy to keep her money in for the future. She had learned her lesson, nearly the hard way, but the scare had been enough. Wow, so there was a turn of events that happened at the end there. So this whole time we were thinking, okay, she lost her money. How did she lose her money? Well, it fell out of her pocket. So clearly her pockets weren't good money holders. So at the end of the story, whenever you see the word lesson, that's really important because you're looking for the main point of the story or the main lesson of the story. So, do we think it's that she lost her money? Well, the title kind of already told us that. We already figured out who the main character is. All the other characters played an important role in the sequence of events, but now once you get to a sentence that says the main lesson that she learned, so let's go back to that. She learned her lesson nearly the hard way, but the scare had been enough. So she learned her lesson that she's gonna lose her money. So what happens when you lose your money? Well, you should find a more secure money holder. That's the main point of the entire story. And it was cool because what we did to get there is we wrote down the words that were associated with money. We wrote down the characters, and then we also wrote down the events that took place next to the characters. But then in the last paragraph, which is always a conclusion and is always going to restate what the main point of the story is or the passage, it said basically, she did something nice for the boy. So you get further with sugar than you do with vinegar. Basically, the boy was not going to give her money back, but she did something nice for him. So he did it anyways. And instead of buying the doll, which you might have thought was the main point of the story, she actually went back and bought something that was really useful. So in the future, she won't lose her money again. Because when she lost her money, she felt those weird, sick, horrible feelings. So basically, when you're being a detective and doing this, the things that we did where we wrote down the title. We took a guess about what the title said. We wrote down words associated with the title. We wrote down the characters and then words associated with what their role in the story was. And then the last thing we're going to write down is basically what happened in the end. So the last event. She buys a purse instead of the doll. Now, the last and final step I want you to do after you've written all of this about finding out what the story's about is I want you to draw a picture on the next page, okay? And basically all I want you to do is do maybe a picture. You've got a cross you can make there. So we're going to draw 4 events that took place just to keep it simple. 1, she's in the store and she wants to buy a doll. Okay? So she picks out a doll, right? Then she goes, and there's the cashier lady, there's her, there's the line, here's the doll. She goes there and realizes that she does not have her money, as you can see right there. She doesn't have her money, okay? So then what happens? She goes all throughout the store looking for it and finds a boy. So we're going to draw his hair, who has our money right there. So look, there's the S. It goes all through the store, and there's the boy who has her money. So then at the end of it, she gives the boy $1 there, okay, and gives the boy $1, and then she goes and buys a purse. This way, she never loses her money again. So the point is, you always have to carry something that helps hold your money. So if you notice that what we did is basically we made sense of the story by writing the important words, taking out the unimportant information, and then drawing it so we can get a visual on what the passage is about. Now, you're going to start to understand more and more passages, so you're not going to have to do this every single time. But for the harder ones, this is definitely an important skill that you're going to need. And tomorrow we're going to practice it one more time, but you're going to do it on your own and you're going to tell me how to do it. All right? It was good to talk to you guys. Bye.